Good afternoon and welcome to this Pharma Equity Group event. This is the first event with Pharma Equity Group in English, and we will try to attract some other investors than Danish, but of course the main base is still in Denmark. With me today I have the CEO Thomas Selsø, and a topic for today's event is the equity story and a market update. Pharma Equity Group have been listed on the stock exchange for almost 9 months now. And to the audience, I would like to welcome everybody, and you are more than welcome to post your questions as always. I will forward them to Thomas during the presentation. So with that said, welcome Thomas, and please carry on.
Thank you very much, Klaus, and welcome to all of you out there for the market update and the Q&A from Pharma Equity Group and from Reponex. As Klaus has told you, we have been at the main list at Copenhagen Stock Exchange since 27th of March 2023. And that's why I also think that this is a good opportunity to that I would like to go through the main things, a summary about Pharma Equity Group and Reponex, and I will try to highlight the most important things which has happened in the last 9 months. In the end, you are able to ask me some questions. You can just write it to Klaus, and then we will take it from there. But the contents of this presentation is that we will get through the story of Reponex, how did it started. I'll tell you a little bit about our mission, our why, the patients, and I will tell you a little bit about why we made a reverse takeover versus a traditional IPO. And I'll get through a little bit about the business model, and then I will talk about highlights of for the last 9 months. And in the end, I will talk about the financial calendar for 2024. The story about Reponex Pharmaceuticals is that it all started with Professor Lars Heeslet, who believed in local treatment and in repositioning. He was one of the first person who found out that patients got better when the walls at, for example, Rigshospitalet had different colors. And when you actually played some classical music for the patients, they also got better. So he was a very charismatic person. When Lars Heeslet passed away back in 2016, Lars Otto Ustenshav took over in June. And in June 23, it was our CMO, Dr. Christopher Burden, which you also have met, which in connection with Lars Otto was moving on. If we talk about our mission, so we can say that our mission is to develop new effective medicines for the local treatment of serious, acute, and chronic inflammatory diseases. So that's also our why. That's, you know, the patient behind. And I will try to talk about it later on, but we have also made some new films in connection with the patients of Crohn's, and we will soon be ready to upload them to the new website. I think it will be done today or tomorrow. The traditional way of entering the stock exchange is normally by making an IPO. With an investment bank, this would have cost about, I think, 30 or 40 million Danish crowns, depending on how it would have been done. We would rather use the money on the development of the 6 drug candidates. So we choose to do a reverse takeover, which is quite normal when you look at the US market. But in Denmark, it's more normal to do a traditional IPO. We used the shell of the company Blue Vision, and have changed it all since then. Completely new management, new politics, new employees, everything is new. Reponex was valued to be at least 1.5 billion worth, and Blue Vision was valued at approximately 46 million Danish crowns. So there's a huge difference. So that's why Reponex in principle came to own Blue Vision 100%, and that's why we have the structure, as I have mentioned several times, when we have gone through the financial statement. And that's even though that it was Blue Vision that prepared the purchase of Reponex. So now, you know, it's like that Pharma Equity Group owns Reponex 100%. And when you buy shares in Pharma Equity Group. But as Reponex is the only asset, more or less, in Pharma Equity Group, Reponex is also what you buy into. So that's very important to remember that. If we look at this, we can say that we have developed a new model here at Pharma Equity Group with the same upside, but without the traditional associated risk. Our business method is go directly from phase 2 to a licensing agreement. And that's our unique business strategy. It's to offer shorter time to market and lower cost level. So that's a very important thing to remember. Our pharmaceutical method is repositioning. It's a well-known method, and Claus and I has also been talking about this method several times, but I think that we also should mention this here. And it's repositioning is where existing medicine is used for other diseases and is administered in a new way, so to speak. Our approaches here have given us a number of patents worldwide and 6 promising candidates that are on the way to the licensing agreement. And I will get back to that when I get through the pipeline. When we look at the traditional way of doing things, you can see that there are several phases to get through. You have the preclinical phase, you have phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you compare that to the way Reponex is doing things, you can see that we are using the methods of repositioning, and then we are going directly to phase 2, because we already use existing APIs, which have already been approved. So there's a lot of articles, there's a lot of literature that we can use in that matter. So if you look at the traditional way of doing pharma, normally you will go from phase 2 to phase 3 and further on. But in our case, we are going directly from phase 2 to a licensing partner. So that's also very important to understand, because phase 3 is very, very expensive to get through this phase. So in the moment we are in now, we are, in contact, and we will be that, for a long time. But we are in a contact with several licensing partners, and we are talking with them regarding to some of the drug candidates. Repositioning is the use of known medicine in new ways, so to speak. I have talked about Viagra before, I think, Claus, and it was originally it was made for breast. If you have some problems and challenges with your breast, and then they found out that it could be used in another way. So it is actually known, tested treatment, and then you do repositioning, and you have a new use of the API. So that is what we are doing here. I mentioned it a little bit before when I talked about Professor Lars Heeslet, because he was very interested in local treatment instead of the the traditional way of doing things, by using the systemic treatment. But this is one of our things that that will help us a lot, that we will use it in a local way. So we use local treatment. So we actually, put a lot of antibiotica, for example, directly into where the problem is the biggest, so to say. And if you use this systemic treatment way, you, for example, will take a tablet or something like that, and then some of it will get into where it should be. Our pipeline is here, and we have the indication on the left side here. We have peritonitis, which is one of the drug candidates, which is named ONX-011. We also have 3 candidates, ONX-021, 22, and 23, in regards to chronic wounds. We have talked about them several times. Christopher Burden has also been through the different drug candidates. I think it's worth to mention here that we have the expectation that we will have some income here from peritonitis in 25, and also in relation to Crohn's, pouchitis, and in relation to colorectal cancer. So we have some expectations that we have also wrote about in the prospectus. As you can see here, you can also see that we will not go through clinical phase 3 by ourselves. We will get in contact with a licensing partner, and we will do it either together with the licensing partner, or he will do it by himself. But I think that it will be a collaboration. If I should talk about the highlights of 23, then we can say, of course, 27th of February 23 was a very nice day, because the prospectus was finally approved by the Danish Financial Supervisory Authority and by Nasdaq. So we were all, we raised our hands. We were very happy. A month later, the 28th of March, was the first trading day, and we were ringing the bell at Nasdaq Copenhagen. We were all happy, but we could also see that there was, at that time, we could see that there was an illiquidity in the shares. And I've been working a lot of trying to get new shareholders, and then we can, have some increasing liquidity in the share. And I think that we actually have seen an increasing liquidity in the share over the 9th month that we have been here. We can also see that we have jumped from a level of approximately 1,200 shareholders to the level that we have right now, which is about 700 shareholders. So we have actually done a lot of things. We have been, doing a lot of presentations, and I will get back to that. So we can actually see that we have increasing the number of shareholders, but we will still need more shareholders for this. We can also mention that we have got 2 new board members, Martin Rossen, which is the vice chairman, and Omar S. Quandel. And those 2 persons should help us, to have a good communication, that we can, get brought out, so we can meet the investors from abroad as well. And Omar is also helping us, on the international level, as well as Martin Rossen is doing that. If I can go through the clinical update, I can say that, 1st of June 23, We got our new CMO, Christopher Burden. We are very happy and fond of him. Yeah, he's doing a great job here. If we look at the company announcement 34, we have been able to show a strong improvement on pouchitis symptoms. And objective measures made during endoscopy and histological evaluation in the first 6 patients in our clinical study. Since then, I can mention that we have begun the second phase of the study with 12 patients, and data is expected in late 24, as far as I know right now. If on the 31th of October, we got the approval of our patent. We have received the grant from the US patent for methods of treatment of atopical wound healing compositions. Repronex treatment combines 3 active substances that accelerates the healing of chronic wounds such as venous and diabetic leg ulcers. And according to Grand View Research, the global wound care market was valued about $21 billion in 2022. So it's a huge market. So that's very interesting for us. We have our company announcement 42 also on the 31st of October. We received a notification from the European Patent Office regarding the issuance of a patent for the wound healing drug combination RNX-022 and our treatment for colorectal cancer RNX-051. If we look at the market, for example, for colorectal cancer, we can see that there's a market value there for about $9.4 billion. So we actually have some huge markets that we on here. The company announcement 42 was about the positive preliminary results from the phase 2 clinical trial of the drug candidate RNX-051, which is in regarding to colorectal cancer. So that was very positive. We're still waiting for for some deeper dive in the data, but I can say that the trial's primary endpoints relating to the quantitative change in biofilm were met with the group of patients having adenomas. Top-line results shows that treatments with RNX-051 removes biofilm from the healthy intestinal mucosa. In patients with colon cancer, it further removes the biofilm from the zone adjacent to the cancer tumor in those patients who have a particularly large amount of biofilm before treatment. So it was, a very good announcement that we announced here. If I should talk about marketing and investor relations, I think we have done several things. We have done as much as we could do here from our chair, from my chair view. We have made a marketing and communication plan, and we have followed that. We have, among other things, made a new corporate identity movie, which tells the new investors about what is our identity, why are we here. We have also made some new patient movies. It is regarding Crohn's disease. We have made 3 new films, which tells the story about the patient there and what they have gone through. I think that it has been very good. Then we have made a more investor-oriented website, a completely new website with all the new things, so it should be easier to find out where you should find the relevant things as an investor. We have also finished our equity story. We have just uploaded the equity story today, in fact, on our website. And the things that I have presented here is also from part of the equity story. Then we have been, and I have been in London because we were at the finals at IPO of the Year award thing. We actually did not win, but we were together with some great companies from abroad. And I have talked to a lot of very exciting people with medical backgrounds that were investors there, so it was very good. Then we have also made a new internal studio for investor presentations, so it hopefully have been more professional than before. We have done a lot of presentations. Among others, I've been a part of the Millionærklubben, where I discussed the subject about parity, the information, the level of information. Do we have a fair value of the market share, and so on. We have also been doing a lot of presentations together with you, Claus, and me at H.C. Andersen Capital, and we have been doing several presentations with Dansk Aktionærforening. We have also just been at Fyn as a part of our roadshow, so we have just been there a couple of days ago. We have also the analyst group in Sweden have also been interviewed us, and I hope that they will follow us in the near future, because they also made some good equity reports, and I have a meeting with them in this week, and I hope that we will make a deal there. But we also been very much on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, and Daros, Stock.io, and investor communities. So we have increased our communication or ways of communication. I have a meeting with Danish bank, Danske Bank Market, here in week 2 in the new year, and I hope that they will begin to follow the share, because it means a lot of things for the share if one of the big banks will make some equity reports. So I hope that we can agree on something here. I have also been working on doing presentations at Danish banks, and I hope that when we get to the new year, we can actually have some presentations there. But it has been more difficult than earlier because of all the law restrictions and so on. But I hope that we can make some presentation there as well. I have also had a lot of meetings with both traders, family offices, private equity funds, VL groups in Denmark, and I have had some very good meetings there. And I think that we should, of course, go to the banks and to the traders, because this will open a lot of doors. But until we actually get there, then we will try to open all the other doors. So that's the way we will do that. This diagram shows the key financial figures, and it also shows the volatility of the share here compared to First North. We can see that we actually have more or less been in close correspondence with that. We can also see that we have met our expectation for the 23 numbers, as we have been talking about to the market. Finally, I will just say that our financial calendar has been uploaded to the website, and we have also been uploaded this to the market as well. On March 4, we have the deadline for shareholder proposals, the annual general meeting. On March 20, we have the annual report 23. April the 16th, we have the annual general meeting. And on May 16, we have the interim report for the 3-month period ended March 31, Q1 report. And the half-year report of 24, we have that on August the 16th. And finally, on November 15, we have the interim report for the 9-month period ended 30th of September 24. So Claus, I think that this is more or less the market update from our perspective. I hope that I have gone through most of the important things.
Well, thanks a lot, Thomas, and I really think you did a great job explaining what happened during the first 9 months of Pharma Equities listing on the stock exchange. And why do Thomas put so much focus on investor relation activities? Well, Pharma Equity Group is an investment company in that sense that the only subsidiary so far is Reponex that you own 100%. But we never know what happens in the future. And it's also a hard job to position yourself in a world with a lot of life science companies on the stock exchange. So I think you did a great job, Thomas, reaching out to a lot of different parties, banks, our platform, but also, the local Dansk Aktionærforening and others to tell your story. And that's a very important job in your position. So let's dive down to some of the questions here. So Thomas, you have a quite broad pipeline of products. And how do you balance the finances with that pipeline? Do you have some priorities, or is this just a matter of understanding the repositioning business? Could you elaborate a little on that, please?
Yeah. Yes, we are prioritizing right now, and it's a part of our strategy to do that, of course, because it's difficult to have the focus on each of the 6 drug candidates. So actually, that is one of the things that we are doing together with Christopher Burden, which is our CMO. So we are doing that prioritization right now. But I think that when we look at the expected income, you can actually see there where our prioritization will be. So our focus will be on peritonitis, on the Crohn's and pouchitis, and the colorectal cancer, I think. So, but that also, it's very interesting to see all that, because of course the financing has to be with us at that moment.
Thanks a lot, Thomas. And if we then look into the 051 product RNX, you got some very good results so far, and you mentioned that in your presentation as well. Is this going to market it as a standalone product, or would it be more relevant to think of it as a combination product towards cancer?
Yeah, I really don't know. I think that it's a question that I need to have Christopher Burden to talk about as well. Yeah, so I don't think that I am the right to answer that probably.
That's fair.
Yeah, but that could be one of the questions for our next presentation, where I will of course bring Christopher with me.
Yes.
So he will be able to answer those questions.
Yeah, for sure, Thomas. No problem. And that's why you have the CMO to of course address these questions. And I can just refer to an earlier interview with Christopher Burden during autumn 2023, where Christopher actually dives into all the pipeline projects. If we look in terms of partners, Thomas, you mentioned that several of your candidates address a big and not a big but a huge market. What kind of partners are you looking into? Is it a global partner? Is it a local partner, or regional partner, or is it a combination of everything?
I think it actually could be a combination of those that you have been spoken about here, but it has to be a global partner, and they have to be represented in some way in the markets where we would like to be, where we have the patents. We have found some very good consultant companies, which is already, for example, in the US market, and they know the US partners there, and they could actually help us of achieving our goals in, for example, the US market. So I think that we will have to find global partners.
Good, thanks a lot. And well, then I'm sorry to say, but there's always a small question about Portinho. And I know this is a legacy you got from Blue Vision, but you mentioned just a couple of weeks ago that there's a slightly delay to the payment. Could you just update us, Thomas? I know you will receive the money, but it's a matter of time. But could you update us on the situation?
Yeah, we have made an announcement a few days, I think it was a week ago, where we announced that now it was the time to tell the market that we could not expect anymore that the payment that the payment from the receivable will reach our account here in the end of 2023, and we have been saying that up to that date, so to speak. And that's also because in some way we have to draw a line, and even if the Portinho company tells us that you'll get the money by the end of 2023, we still have to draw a line if we do not believe that we will receive the money by that date. So that's why that we think that it will be more likely that we will get our receivable and the payment in 2024. So that's why we have to go to the market. We have to announce that this is our belief now.
And that's just to be totally transparent, because you are a listed company and you guided for this early on when you get into the stock exchange. So there's nothing new there.
But it's also, Claus, very important to remember that you mentioned it before. It's something that we have with us from the Blue Vision side, so to speak. So we are actually doing everything that we can to collect that money, of course. And it has been more difficult than we have expected. But that's the way it is right now. We have made some very good agreements with investors in regarding to financing. So we have, we have made, I think it's 8 million in financing right now in relation to new investor loans. So we have to make sure and that we can tell all the investors that we have that under control, so to speak. So we are, still we would like to have in total 20 million in financing. So we are doing that right now.
Thanks a lot. I don't know if there's more questions to Thomas. You're more than welcome to post your questions. While doing that, Thomas, you mentioned in the prospectus that you expect some kind of partner 2025, and with the pipeline you showed, you also mentioned that again. I asked about it before. What kind of partner? What kind of partner? Sorry, are you looking for? How far are we in this process? I know it demands a press release if you're very close, but But do you have negotiations going on for the moment, or where are we?
We are talking to the relevant partners that we have found that we should use. So it's an ongoing process, and I think that we have also met with some very good consultants who can help us in the process. So it's an ongoing process, which is in a parallel way, so to speak, in regarding to the clinical work that we also is doing right now. So yeah, so we still think that we can expect some income from that in the year of 25.
Good. And then a final question here about your finances. So one thing is the Portinho money, and you bridged the Portinho money in terms of your burn rate. But with your current cash, how far can you reach into 2024, Thomas?
Right now, we have a burn rate in a range of 1.5 million Danish crown each month. So as I told you before, Claus, we have made deals for 8 million Danish crowns right now, and we still have unused credit limit, which we haven't used. So I think that we have for several months in 24, and I think it's important to remember that we are in an ongoing process of making new deals in relation to have the right finance here in our company. It has always been like that. Ever since Reponex was born, so to speak, it has been like that. We have gone to we have reached out for the investors, and we have asked them to be part of the financing, and we will do exactly the same right now, and also hopefully in the future. So yeah.
Thanks a lot, Thomas. Yeah, but thanks a lot for taking us through this interesting story and where you are as of today. And thanks a lot from the questions from the audience. And with that said, Thomas, I hope you will have a good Christmas, and to the audience as well. And then I will end the session for today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And you too.